All right, you guys, it is your girl, Miss Red. Miss Red Speaks. Step in and grab your mic. You just entered the Mic Drop Spotlight, where we rise and speak authority. Luke 10:19 reminds us we've been given authority and nothing the enemy throws can stop the fire God lit. From flicker to bonfire, I'm Miss Red Speaks, unmuted for the kingdom. Now, I want you to know the purpose is for us to mic drop on the enemy lies. But first, we have to be honest with ourselves. And so I want to go ahead and get started. But before I begin, I want to give a trigger warning to you guys that are watching live with me right now or that will be back to watch the replay. Before we begin, I want to give a respectful and heartfelt warning. This episode contains real and raw truths that may be triggering for some listeners. We will be discussing domestic violence, not from a place of blame, but from a place of breakthrough. If you have ever walked through abuse, or if you are currently in a situation involving domestic violence, please seek help. You are not alone, and there is support available. This is my story, a testimony, not a pity party. This is part 2 of Before I Was Unmuted, where I exposed the wolf in sheep's clothing. Let's walk through this truth together, carefully but courageously. Now, as always, I love to paint a story because I want you to be able to be brought in into what I walk through. I've made this my choice to come and share. As I say all the time, and I've said even from the very beginning when I start doing podcasts, I will be transparent because my walk, my breakthrough, my testimony is not for me to just hold. I grew up on hymns. And on Sunday mornings, I remember as a little girl, me and my brother and my sister and a whole crew of cousins from the neighborhood, we would all come together and gather on the mint green church van. We came and went faithfully. We didn't just go to church, we were planted in it. So when you grow up just with that foundation of knowing about Jesus and hearing the certain hymns, it just begins to bring you to a place. The pews were wood and worn. The windows were colored like promises. That little church in the field that taught me God's name, even if I didn't know how to call on him yet, it just sat with me. It was my foundation. But I'm going to fast forward to the part where, as I spoke with you last week about becoming a mother for the first time, and that relationship didn't last. So I took it upon myself, like many of us do. I'm going to go and I'm going to look for someone else. Baby still in a car seat. I don't even think the wound really healed. And I definitely know my soul wasn't healed. So I'm a new mom, still trying to figure out who I am and what I need. And then I met another guy. While we were on the phone, The voice was smooth. Oh man, was he charismatic, down to earth? And get this part, you guys. He was singing, "His eye is on the sparrow." Oh, that's it. I have found the man that I know. My mom and my dad are going to be very excited and very proud of me, and including my friends. Because remember, we're not just trying to please mom, dad. We making sure that our girls are like, okay, girl, I see you with that good man. So I really thought that I landed a good one. When he would sing, it would just melt me. Because he wasn't just handsome, he sounded like home. And I confused that sound for safety. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know, like I said before, we will be talking about domestic violence. I don't know if you're currently in a situation or if you have walked through this, but you felt safe with that person. You felt like that person had your back, had your best interest, and had you all the way. He knew Jesus. He could sing. That was enough for me, or so I thought. But what I didn't realize back then was that wolves don't howl right away. Sometimes they hum. They blend in. They wear sheep's clothing and call it anointing. And that's when it all began. That's when things began to unfold for me. Outgoing, bright personality. And I'm pregnant now. Baby number 2. Man number 2. I have a baby in a car seat. My first baby wasn't even 1 year old. And here I am facing another situation. But let me go ahead and keep you right here in my pregnancy. I remember being so excited because, again, and this is just real talk, this is just truth. You can deal with the same spirit and they come speaking the same way. He asked me, "Will you have my baby?" And I knew that this would be legit because the first one didn't even try to even rap, much less sing a hymn. But this one know Jesus, so I'm good. I'm safe. I'm covered. He got me. He got me and my baby. So when I learned that I was pregnant, I rushed to him with the news, and he immediately told me, "I don't know why you excited. You know what you need to do. You need to call that number first thing Monday morning. I'm not about to be no dad. Have you lost your mind? In fact, how do I even know it's mine?" So I went from being excited, thinking that I have landed the right man, to now, you have got to be kidding me. So I grew up always having that sassy, stubborn mouth. Remember I told you that my dad wanted me to be a boxer. And I'm like, no, I'm stubborn. I was talking back to my dad. That was still in me. Now I want you to stay right there. I want you to hold on to that, ladies and gentlemen, because who you are, your abuser will begin to tear down at that. And I'm being honest. Bright, outgoing. There's people who knew me to always be the girl that was always laughing, the life of the party. I loved lip gloss. That was something that my mom was always putting in my stocking stuffer until I moved in with this guy. And I remember the first time I'm in the mirror putting on my lip gloss, and I walk out to go to work. And he immediately said, "Well, where you think you going with lip gloss? You trying to get with another man?" And me being that loyal woman, watching my parents be loyal to each other, I immediately knew that no, I got to let this man know that's not what I'm doing. No, you the one for me. So he took his hands and smeared it off my face. And it was rough. I felt pressure that I've never felt before, but that wasn't even considered as a hit in my head. Although a man should never place his hands on a woman, or a woman should never place his hands on a man in any aggressive way, especially when you're trying to control. That's the first sign that something is going to continue to peel back. So I didn't think about it. I went to work. Come home. It was a group of friends. Well, this time I didn't put the lip gloss on as thick. And he immediately came in behind me, and that's when I received the first slap. Never have I ever felt like that. My dad never hit me. I remember my dad whooped me one time and he cried about it. Gave me money afterwards, like, baby girl, just don't be disobedient again. But then here this man hit me, and it was no apology. It was no consoling me. I did something wrong because of the assumption, because I had on just lip gloss. So I'm still pregnant. So at this point, I'm like, maybe I need to make that phone call. I didn't know the steps. I didn't know the intake. I didn't know. I just immediately thought, okay, I got to get out of here. So I made the phone call, and I thought, well, that's what's going to make him happy. He took the phone cord as soon as I was talking to the lady, and she was about to schedule it, and he wrapped it around my neck, kept wrapping it. And I couldn't breathe. And then that's when he started unraveling the phone cord. And he said, if you think that you would ever take my baby out, I'm going to let you know what it feels like first. So I not only is this the second time, but this is what you told me to do. And me thinking giving you what you want was going to make you happy. That's why I thought you hit me the first time. Again, outgoing, vibrant person. I'm away from my city. It was just getting to the point where my personality was being nailed in a coffin. It became worse. It got worse. But how many times do they say, I'm sorry? I didn't mean that. I'm just frustrated. I have a baby on the way. What am I going to do? I'm not in the position that I want to be in. So then I'm thinking, like, me being the person that I am will let me console him. Let me make it better for him. Dismissing how I felt, dismissing what I've been through, dismissing how I was being broken and torn every day. And it starts with the mind. My mind just got rebuilt. And this happened years ago, decades ago. So I'm here to tell you, if you think it's just something that you'll just walk out of and recover from, no, it takes time, because it took time. As long as I was ignoring, there were more being piled and more damage that was being done. So while I'm still in a city that I'm not familiar with, I know nothing about, I am working, catching the local bus, the local train, never done that a day in my life. I'm from a small country town. My mom and my dad had a car. I didn't have to catch a bus. So as I'm catching the bus, I'm doing what I need to do. I didn't know that he was following me to work and literally paying guys cigarettes because he didn't have no money. He wasn't working. To come in to flirt with me, to see if I would flirt back. And I'm here to tell you that even when you don't know, there's somebody praying for you. There's somebody that is making sure that they're going on their knees asking for God to send that angel out to cover you. And this is exactly what was happening. And this is exactly how I know I was able to make it back to my city. But let me go back to when I was at work. So I didn't know this was going on. And I'm ringing this guy up and he said, do not look up at me. I want you to keep checking my stuff out. In fact, act as if you accidentally scanned it wrong and turn to your computer so that I can tell you something. Now, in this moment, I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? Why is this dude talking to me? And even me knowing that my boyfriend is many, many miles away with no car, I'm still going to be faithful. And why is this guy talking to me? I don't need to be talking to this guy. So I wasn't really processing what he was telling me, but I knew that there was something going on that was giving me a warning. And so as I'm turning to my register, acting as if I'm fixing something, he said, young lady, there's a guy outside that's paying people giving people cigarettes to come in here to flirt with you. He's watching you to see if you will flirt back. Ma'am, I don't know you, but ma'am, you need to find a way to get out of this situation. And he said, do not look up at me until you're completely done with checking me out. And I suggest you don't even smile because he's looking for anything. I felt peace. I felt like it was a warning, just trying to be louder than my situation, being louder than me even burying myself in a circumstance that I was never supposed to be in, that I shouldn't have tried to get comfortable in, and that I was never meant to try to even make my reality. So, as things continued, I still didn't break. It wasn't until I went to a very well-known church, and I will not say the name because, like I said before, I'm not here to give names of places or cities or any of that. I'm just here to tell my story. We were invited to go to a very well-known church in this city to their Christmas play. So I was very excited to actually see this person preach. And when we got there, this person wasn't there. But while we were there, we ended up meeting some other friends that were complete strangers. But they were very sweet. And they were like, well, after the play and everything, let's go to the house. And I want to just, get to know y'all, talk more. And I thought, well, I'm with them. Okay. I get there and we go into prayer. We're all in this circle praying. And when they get done praying, I remember the young lady. I will never forget her face. I remember her pulling me to the side and she said, sweetheart, I don't know you. And you know I don't know. I literally just met you at the church. And I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I got to tell you what God is telling me to tell you. You're very far from home and your life is in danger. You need to go back home. You need to leave the person and anything you think. If you got to leave belongings, whatever, call a friend, call somebody. You need to go back home. And as I'm on my way back to the place that we stayed at, I remember looking out the window and I said, there's no way that this person know anything that I'm going through. And I said, God, if this is you, get me back home. But how many times we allow and we go to God and we allow him to get us out of something, but then we bring the very wolf back to the same circumstance. So I went from one city to his territory to then I moved away. And then, of course, I received the phone calls when I got freed from this man. You're carrying my baby. Please, let's not do this. You don't want to be another single mom. You don't want to do this. Nobody's going to want you. Not even hearing the sarcasm, the tearing down mixed in with, I don't want to be another single mom. I don't want to be a disappointment to my parents. But he's right. Let me try to bring him back. He said he was sorry. And you guys, I'm actually going to stop there because it does get worse. In fact, there was a gun involved. And you will know more detail in the book that I have coming out, The Fight. But like I said, I'm here to share with you my truth, my story. Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people begin to misread who I am today because they don't even know what I walked through, what I've been through. And this is not cockiness. This is confidence in the Lord. This is Him. This is His blueprint. And when you trust who created you and you know He's been through there every step of the way, been through situations that should have taken you out, then you know it's God. And He's not finished with you yet. So again, I want to say, if you are currently in an abuse situation, please seek help. Please don't allow for someone to continue to make you think that that's what you deserve to be in. And before I go, I want to go ahead and tell you, next week, we go deeper. Because what looked like love was layered in lies. He said he was single. He acted like he was single. In my mind, he was mine. But behind closed doors, he belonged to someone else. And he had always. Part 3. The masked marriage. That's what I'm going to talk about next week. If you ever loved a lie, you'll want to hear what happened next. You guys, thank you so much for taking the opportunity to come and listen to part 2. The mic is going off, but the bonfire's still burning. Stay unmuted. Miss Red.
Hey, Flame Keepers. Thank you for all the incredible support during the launch of our first journal, From a Flicker to a Flame. Your energy was amazing. If you haven't grabbed your copy yet, it's still available. Let's keep the flame of inspiration burning. Purchase now. The link is in the comments. Thank you for being part of this journey. Exciting news, Flame Keepers. Our exclusive Miss Red Speaks t-shirts are now available for purchase. Get comfy in our unique designs. Stay tuned for much more merch with some of our misunderstood sayings. Grab your t-shirts now on our website. Let's wear it proudly. Remember to share this broadcast with your fellow Flame Keepers and followers. Let's make our community even brighter. Don't forget, follow us on all social medias at MissRedSpeaks.com for daily sparks of wisdom. Let's amplify the flame together.